Hello, wonderful viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a lot to read on today. Syria, we have the Turkey beginning airstrikes against certain targets in Syria, Kurdish held kind of area. That's not even the right way to say it, but areas where Kurdish forces would be stationed. But yet there are civilians in danger too. So this is the worst of the worst. This is the worst that could happen after Trump announced troops would be withdrawn. And we have Lindsey Graham, we have Nikki Haley coming out saying we can't abandon our Kurdish allies in Syria. There's a lot of history with Turkey and the Kurdish people. So people are thinking that it just happened because Erdogan, Trump had this phone call with Erdogan, who is this, pretty far right kind of leader there. And after that, he made this announcement. So people are thinking he got convinced by Erdogan. So what happened in that phone call? For one thing, we have a lot to read on about that topic. My goodness. Okay. Maybe I should always just ask Spirit, what do you want to tell us about this? Because I feel like that's the cards we got. And we get the 8 of Cups. We get the 3 of Cups. We get the 5 of Wands. Conflict within the Republican Party. We've got, a lot of times this has been Trump's leaving card, the 8 of Cups. And 3 of Cups, a lot of times has been celebration that he's going. So right away those fly out. So that's interesting. It is not good, in other words, that key Republicans have come out against Trump in this way and resoundingly. Also, even on Fox and Friends, a guy on Fox and Friends got all heated up against this move by Trump. So it had to be big for that to happen, right? So what else would you like us to know about this, Spirit? Oh, okay. So we get the Death card. We get the Page of Cups. We get the 10 of Coins. We get the 6 of Cups. Well, there's some money issue with Trump with this. There's some kind of dealing, like he wants to stay on the good side of Erdogan and for some financial reason. There's a money thing here. That's interesting. The Death card to me is very sad. It's saying, yes, there will be death. There will be death. Yes. And we have the 6 of Cups there. Can't treat allies like that. Can't treat allies like that. People, this is about nostalgia. This is about people you've known for a very long time. You can't treat allies like that. It's a serious issue. Then we have a little bit of good news, though. So that suggests to me, I don't think this will go on and on. All right. That was another question I had. So Spirit's ahead of me. All right. So it's probably not going to go on and on. Spirit, do you want to tell us anything about that in particular? Yeah, it's a Tower moment. Look at those major arcana. Okay, so those on the other side are very concerned about this as well. It is a Tower moment, and it's a Tower moment to Trump's presidency. We have the Empress. It increases the pregnancy. It increases the build-up, the ripeness for him resigning. And there's an opportunity is given. An opportunity is given again with that Ace of Wands. A lot of times that Ace of Wands has come up when I really believe that people have had a conversation with Trump. Hey, do you want to resign? We would encourage you to resign. I do think one of those conversations happened in March. I remember I was getting that Ace of Wands regarding Trump. I think it was a couple of months ago. And here we're getting it again. There's definitely that group that would like to see him resign. And maybe all of them would. Because they don't have to. Yeah, I just said it. Yes, all of them would. I heard that. All of them would. All of them would. Because they don't have to be the bad guys then. They don't have to lose his base. All of them would. That's pretty powerful when you think about that. Like, what's that going to lead to for Trump? At what point do they all put their heads together and say there's got to be a way out of this situation without jeopardizing our seats and da 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 da? They're so worried about that. 9 of coins, Queen of coins. They're worried about the donor money, who wants to see a Republican president. Make sure you get a Republican president in. The 3 of swords, this is just, lots of heartbreak with this situation, repeated heartbreak. The 3 of swords is usually that. It's not anything new, it's repeated. Yeah, but I feel like right now, though, still, that means Trump is kind of sitting pretty right now at this moment, in spite of all this. That means they have not yet gotten together any kind of good plan about how to get rid of him and protect their seats. They do not have that kind of unity or planning. So that's the problem. That is a problem. I want to ask about Syria. I want to ask, again, we got a little information that it doesn't seem like this will go on long. This Turkish, well, one channel called it an invasion, but these airstrikes. Tell me about this, Spirit. We're concerned about the Syrian people. Oh, we have the same cards. A little bit of good news again with that Page of Cups again. They are our allies after all, with the 6 of Cups. So, does Trump reverse his decision and keep the troops there? We have the Death card. Oh my gosh, I keep getting, I shuffle and I get the same ones. Heartache. That means, the answers are already in the cards. And I think that's meaning after death, after some death. Yeah, I think our allies too, other allies will step in as well. Pressure is going to be put on Turkey to stop this. And I think it will be successful, but it'll be a little bit. I mean, we want it to be successful now, but it'll be just, it could even be just a couple days, but, death happens. Could be a few days, could be, but it is after more death. And that hitting the news, now I'm seeing it, that hitting the news, it's going to be all over the news, you guys. The results of these airstrikes, it's going to be all over the news. If there's any civilian who dies, it's going to be all over the news, and there will be. So then this is put an end, somebody puts an end to this. 4 of Cups, 8 of Coins, 6 of Coins. Right, there's some generosity for the Kurdish people in Syria, and I don't even think it all comes from the U.S. I think, other allies lead this in a way. They're just kind of waiting for Trump to say, okay, troops back in there. We can't do that. 8 of Coins. People working on it. Trump is a little stubborn for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'd expect an announcement tonight about it. The economic sanctions. Lindsey Graham says they're going to work on a bipartisan bill to put heavy economic sanctions on Turkey for this. How does that work? International trade with the 2 of Wands, 3 of Coins. They're consulting, and the 10. That actually could help. With the 10 of Coins, the 3 of Coins, and the 2 of Wands. That really could help. Okay. It has Turkey exploring its options anyway. It has Turkey consulting with its experts anyways. So that actually could help. Yeah, it's too bad this happened in the first place. All right. So it's so interesting that Nikki Haley came really out there. She's a cabinet member, right? So, UN ambassador. So it's interesting she came out and said that this is abandoning our allies. What happens with Nikki Haley? Oh, somehow there's some protection for her, and I'm not sure what it is. Somebody with a lot of power or money. She still remains sitting pretty. Working in the government. okay. So there's a reason. She has found a way to be more vocal about some of these things and survived that. Interesting. Wonder what that is. Let's see. Kellyanne has not come out. Lisa, a viewer, says, curious about the lack of Kellyanne spin. Yes, usually when he's yes, usually when he's in trouble, and she puts it a lot more creatively and amusingly. But Kellyanne is sent out there. So what does it mean that she's not out there right now defending Trump's withdrawal of troops? The Sun, the Page of Coins. She wants a new job. That is exposing her to too much disapproval from potential future employers. And it's a disappointment for her, the Five of Cups. But that Five of Cups is also about times when she's done that recently have had disappointing results. You know, she kind of lost it on the White House lawn a little while back and was, you know, acting a little desperate. The bright light of the sun. She kind of doesn't want to be in the bright light of the sun right now. She wants to kind of pull on back. She's already thinking of her next job. But the Page of Coins suggests she's taken it. That's what's weird. So has she already been in talks with, this is what my job would be under Pence? That really could very well be. That could be. Yeah, and she's got to, you know, try to rehab her image a little or something. Wow. She's planning already. She thinks he's going. She's planning. Okay, well, that's an interesting one. Not to say she won't be trotted out there in front of the cameras. I think she will. She can only avoid so much. All right. And we have another. Okay, there's a report by Politico that Trump is obsessed with polygraphing his staff and find out who's the leakers. Who are the ones who talked to the two intel officials who are now whistleblowers? You know, who did this? Who's leaking? So he's obsessed with that. Is there anything you have to tell us about that, Spirit? Oh, we have 3 reversals in this. No, 4. Oh, I must have flipped the deck around. Well, let me see what all these are. Upright. Reverse could mean they're a little off anyway. There's something a little off about the timing or something. We have the Hermit. We have the King of Swords, that investigation. We have delay with the Hanged Man. We've got the Seven of Coins. Okay. So that's interesting. He wants to investigate, but there's a delay. He wants to gain a different perspective on it all. You know, find out the real truth. Nobody in the White House or working with the White House is feeling secure at all right now. They're all kind of scurrying. They don't want to have conversations with him, Hermit. They want to leave him isolated. This further pushes them all away. I don't see any indication that it's going to happen anytime soon. But it's yet another thing that makes them think, he's crazy. He's crazy. He's unreasonable. We can't trust him. They try to avoid him. This further isolates him. And already he doesn't have anybody around him who will tell him no, who will say, do not do that. Perhaps he takes the counsel of his attorneys a bit on a no on some things, but, certainly not policy-wise. Yes. Oh, also recently it was just reported that Trump pressured some officials to abandon money laundering charges on one of Giuliani's clients. So there were some DOJ officials pursuing money laundering charges on a guy that Giuliani represented. And so there's some indication Trump may have pressured them to let it go, or pressured an official from another country to pressure them to let it go. So he just is using people left and right, trying to get them to do his bidding, trying to get them to be the bad guys, trying to get them to take on the vulnerabilities, the exposure, the risk. So he's just crazy with this. But what in the world is going to come of that? Will there be further investigation into that? 8 of Cups. This is yet another thing. There will be informant about that. Queen of Swords. Three of Wands, right? Watching and waiting. His ship's coming in, and it's not a good ship. I mean, it's a plague-infested ship, right? It's, again, it's one of the things that leads to him leaving. But, Three of Wands suggests watching and waiting, like it's not happening right now, but it's, again, one of those things. Okay, wow, this was a lot tonight. No doubt there will be a lot tonight on the evening shows. So I will check in again. Well, thank you all so much, and for riding this roller coaster and believing that it will be all right, that we can make our voices known. Thank you. Bye-bye.